If your child can lie straight to your face, explode into rage, and somehow make you feel like the bad guy, this video is going to change how you see what's actually happening. I'm Christine. Let's slow this down because this isn't bad behavior. It's a control response. And if you miss that, everything you try will make it worse. This isn't about morals, respect, or discipline. These behaviors are about how a child is trying to create control. If they can choose when the anger erupts, it gives them a sense of predictability, when the crisis will happen and when it will end. Lying is really hard for most parents I talk to, and for me too, because it's hard to see what the child is gaining. But that confusion comes from assuming the child is trying to win. Control doesn't mean they're thinking, I get my way. It means I'm doing something that keeps me from spinning out of control. Most parents think lying is about avoiding consequences. That's actually not the main reason kids lie. Lying can feel safer than telling the truth. To us as adults, of course we see that it doesn't work that way. It creates more problems, and you would think that over time they would notice this and change their behavior. They don't. And sometimes it even gets worse, even though we're doing everything we think should diminish the behavior. A lot of parents ask, why would they lie when the truth would be easier? The answer is the truth doesn't feel easier to their nervous system. Once you see this, lying stops feeling so personal. Let's keep in mind, stress impairs memory recall. A dysregulated brain is bad at timelines, details, and consistency. That is why some children lie automatically before they even know what the truth is. If we start to look at this as a pattern of behavior, we notice that lies get bigger when parents get more intense. Kids who lie well are often highly attuned to adult emotional states. Some children lie to control how adults feel, not to control outcomes. Lying often spikes during transitions, discipline, or perceived disappointment. Now, here's one of the really difficult realities. Punishment does not increase honesty, it increases concealment. That means punishing a child for lying doesn't teach them that lying is wrong, and it certainly doesn't teach them what to do instead. But it does increase their ability to hide their lies. Truth-telling is a skill that develops after regulation, not before. Notice what I said. Truth-telling is a skill that develops. This is not an issue of morality or a muscle that needs to be strengthened. It's a skill that is developed once kids can regulate, not before. Sometimes we think that because we've seen children demonstrate a skill previously, or because they're getting stronger and healthier, that they can handle difficult situations. All kids regress, and all kids have setbacks. Whenever you notice a child lying, you can make the assumption that they are experiencing a situation they have not yet developed the skills to handle. This next part sounds hard because it can feel like a judgment towards us as parents or caregivers. Honesty improves when kids feel safe being imperfect. This is a hard reality because we feel that kids will feel safe when we do something different or when we do a better job, but it is not about us. We have a piece and we have a role we can fill, but we cannot make them do, feel, or think anything. Children begin to feel safe when their environment begins to teach them they are safe, but they also have to be willing to feel safe, and that's not something we can control. We can set up a healthy environment, but it's still between them and their nervous system to do the work of being willing to feel vulnerable. That's very hard, and it is not something children make a conscious decision to do. It's about consistency of a safe environment and the unique timing of that child. You might be doing an extraordinary job creating safety, and they're simply taking time to catch up to feeling safe. Once parents stop reacting emotionally, the child can begin to regulate, or at least initially stop dysregulating or becoming triggered by question. When a child doesn't feel safe internally, control becomes their oxygen. And here's the part most parents miss. For traumatized kids, the truth can feel more dangerous than the lie. This sounds backwards, but the brain under threat prioritizes self-protection or accuracy. Truth-telling requires safety. That's why consequences don't fix lying. The more pressure the child feels to tell the truth, the harder it becomes to tell the truth. Most parents try the same strategies to stop lying and increase truth-telling, and they don't work. I'm not going to list what they are, because we all already know. The reason they don't work isn't because parents aren't trying hard enough. It's because we're trying to change the child's behavior to meet our emotional needs. We want the lying to stop because it makes us feel like bad parents. It scares us about their future, it embarrasses us, And that reaction makes sense. But here's the hard part. What we're reacting to actually isn't the lying, it's what the lying brings up in us. And when we respond from that place, we're no longer regulating the situation. We are being regulated by it. When I think about a parent getting pulled into a lying battle with a child, including myself, I picture a child holding a leash and we are getting yanked. That is not power they should ever have. When you take on a traumatized child, whether you knew it at the time or not, you're agreeing to create a therapeutic environment, not to have them fit perfectly into the environment you imagined. So every time your child lies, instead of asking, how do I stop this? Try thinking, oh, something doesn't feel safe to them right now. A child's lie should not carry this much weight. They are not your doctor lying about a diagnosis. They're not your financial advisor lying about your future. This feels big because it touches your sense of control, and losing control is terrifying for parents. I know that feeling. I've been there, and I became a much more regulated and happier parent when I stopped requiring my child to perform in ways that I felt I deserved. Because wanting your child to thrive isn't wrong, but when their behavior is regulating your emotions, the system flips. Every time you try to win in the moment, the behavior wins long term. Here's what this usually sounds like. I'm giving you a chance to tell me the truth. What their nervous system hears is, I'm being tested and I can't afford to fail. So if control is the goal, the real question becomes, how do you stop feeding it without triggering more rage? That's what I break down in the next video. Exactly what parents do that accidentally hands control right back. Watch that next. It's where most parents unknowingly make things worse.